Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today is the launch of Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and it's the beginning of a bunch of great games coming out. You have Star Wars Jedi Survivor, you have The Last Case of Benedict Fox, which is launched on Xbox Game Pass. There's Redfall coming out on May 2nd, and there's The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom coming out on May 12th. So it's a very strong stretch of video games, but specifically here, Star Wars Jedi Survivor is out today. It's been getting very good reviews, 8s, 9s, 10s, sitting right now at a 87 on Metacritic, and the game looks incredible. I'm a major Star Wars fan, also a huge fan of Star Wars Fallen Order. I absolutely love that game. One of my favorite games when it came out, still up there as one of my favorite games that I've played in a very long time. So I'm really hyped for this game, but I won't be playing it on day one. And I want to talk about the reviews so far for this game and just kind of the reviews overall within the industry. There is a weird thing that always happens when these games come out. There are some games that get dinged really hard for technical issues, and then there are other games where seemingly a lot of the major websites, a lot of the major reviewers overlook the technical issues and still give these games a high score. And the reason I'm talking about technical issues is because apparently Star Wars Jedi Survivor has a lot of issues that when these reviews first dropped, I believe they were on the April 26th. Yeah, you can see all of the reviews here and you can go through them. There isn't a deep dive and a huge mention of a lot of the technical issues that are actually harming these games. But we see ACG here, who I think is probably the best, if not one of the best in the game in terms of reviewing games and being completely honest. I feel like you go to ACG review, you know he is being honest about what he believes in, if the game is good, if it's bad, and letting people know about everything that is going on. And ACG says here, PSA as it stands, all platforms have massive performance and bug issues, with crashing even occurring occasionally on the consoles for Jedi Survivor. This impacts the story, gameplay, fun factor, audio, everything. This is not just a PC thing, and patches are incoming, but yes, patches are indeed always incoming. That's how patches work, and that's good because this game is as close to not working as I have seen in a title in a review period since Days Gone. At this time, the actual game itself is severely impacted across all platforms by technical problems and impacts everything from story beats to voiceovers. More later. Now, one of the things here that I think is important to highlight is it does say here the technical problems are on all of the different platforms out there. It's not just PC, which was the original reports that I saw coming out. Even like people with like an RTX 4090 were complaining about issues, and we can get into a funny debate about everyone who always talks about the Xbox Series S holding games back because of technical issues and optimization. And we see these high-end graphics cards, these high-end PCs having issues with games. It all really comes down to optimization, but obviously Star Wars Jedi Survivor has a lot of issues with it and probably isn't worth playing right on day one at launch until patches do come out. Now, I know a lot of people are still going to go out and play it, so I would love to hear if you have played it, your experiences in the comments below. But what I think this brings up in terms of a discussion is I believe there needs to be some sort of standard across all games that if there are major technical issues, or even if there are technical issues that affect the game in any way, there should be a standard for reviews to point that out and reduce the scores of these games. I just think that is the only way to fully, I guess, get the full story as to how these games are performing when they release. What will be very interesting to see will be on May 2nd when Redfall comes out. Obviously, we know Redfall is 30 FPS on the Series X and the Series S, which is already going to ding the review scores. You know that. But if there are other technical issues with that game, will they be highlighted in a major way compared to how they have been highlighted so far with Jedi Survivor? Because in terms of where we've seen these highlights, it's been from the independent guys. ACG has highlighted it. I believe SkillUp has highlighted, and I'm sure other people have as well. But when the reviews first dropped, it was all praise and not enough talk about the issues going on with this game. And this has happened before. I remember even when Elden Ring came out, an amazing game. I loved it. I think it deserved 10 out of 10, depending on where you played it. But I know on PC, I played it on PC. I was having issues with it. There were technical issues and not nearly enough people talked about it. They just went ahead and praised the game. And I think that is an issue with reviews in the current day and age. I believe all games, there should be a standard. When there are technical issues, they should be judged the same. It doesn't matter if the game is good, if the game is bad. Technical issues should automatically dock a review score or dock the overall score for a game. So we'll see what happens when Redfall comes out. But overall, you can definitely tell there are certain games that get a pass for technical issues and then certain games that do not get a pass for technical issues. But let's continue talking about Redfall, because I found this today and I saw this on Twitter, and it was just absolutely absurd, absolutely hilarious. And it goes back to my thoughts on the Xbox marketing department overall. I believe the Xbox marketing department at Xbox is the thing that is the biggest issue right now with Xbox and the brand. Their marketing. I feel like they continuously are dropping the ball and not doing enough to let people know what's available, what's coming out, what's there on Xbox Game Pass, and why people should be excited about Xbox. And here's just kind of another blunder. I would say this is a mix of the studio management, Matt Booty, a mix of Aaron Greenberg at marketing, and it is the Redfall, the whole FPS thing. So obviously Redfall was definitely supposed to be 60 FPS at launch on Xbox, right? You can see it here on the box. It says 60 frames per second right down here on the bottom left. But because they didn't delay the game, because they had already printed everything and were getting ready to ship this game and are going ahead with this launch on May 2nd at the 30 FPS. We have this picture here, and this is a tweet from Jez, and it says, seems some, because we don't know if this is going to be on every single Redfall box, but it says, seems some Redfall retail Xbox copies have a 60 FPS listed on the back and will come with a sticker noting it's not available for launch. You see the sticker here on the top left. It says 60 FPS performance mode, not available at launch. It's literally like some random kid printed out a bunch of stickers and started going over to the boxes and sticking them on the kind of troll Xbox and troll Redfall. I mean, that's what that looks like to me. And I think it's just absolutely embarrassing from a marketing department to allow something like this to happen. I think this is just another thing with Xbox that, I mean, their first party studio management and their marketing has been off over the last couple of months. But I mean, hey, I'm still excited to play this game. I am going to be checking it out on day one. I just hope going forward that this type of stuff gets avoided, because it is absolutely not a good look on the Xbox brand. And I think there is really no debate about that. I mean, you can't look at this and think this is okay. This is something that the marketing department shouldn't be doing. This is something that the marketing department should have planned for, if at least to know that this game wasn't going to be launching at 60 FPS on Xbox. And at the end of the day, what should have happened from a studio management side of things was this game should have been delayed. This game should have absolutely been delayed, especially if all of these things were printed and ready to go and they were able to still not be at that deadline where they had to ship it. They should have delayed this game to avoid something like this, because to me, this just looks absolutely completely amateur from a massive company like Xbox. But we will move on here to this, and this one is probably going to, well, it did piss off a lot of people, but this is a tweet here from Sunil Gadhania, and Sunil here is actually a social media manager for Square Enix Japan titles. And Sunil calls out, makes fun of Xbox in the tweet, saying UK regulators won't block your acquisition of Live Alive, out today on PS5, PS4, and Steam. And why this is interesting, why this is kind of funny, is because we know the relationship PlayStation has with Square Enix. We know that they have created deals to exclude the Xbox platform based off of information that came out within the CMA documents. And Square Enix themselves, the social media manager, has no issue actually making fun of Xbox, calling them out, really showing that that relationship with PlayStation is strong. I mean, they have no issues. They don't worry about this backfiring and hurting their sales or anything, because the game isn't on Xbox. And if we go down here into the comments section, we will see a lot of pushback. You have Peter over here saying UK regulators cannot save Forspoken from flopping. We have Playoff Octavian gonna make that sold below expectations press release even funnier, to be honest. We have Dupla Kappa saying, are you really happy that your employer skipped the Xbox and you're making fun of Xbox owners? Zig here saying, mocking Xbox gamers in this way is unprofessional and fuels the console war. It's sad that the social media manager of a video game company says this. A bunch of other people that are going on. Shame Sony, money blocks me from giving you my money for it on Xbox, and all this type of stuff. Because at the end of the day, we know what is going on with Xbox and Square Enix. Essentially, is that PlayStation has all the deals, and they're putting stuff in place to make sure the games do not appear on certain platforms, right? That is something that they have the right to do with doing third-party exclusive deals, absolutely. But it is definitely something, if you're an Xbox fan, if you're an Xbox owner, it is frustrating to see, because I'm sure there are people out there that would be willing to play this game on Xbox, willing to pick up this game on Xbox. Games like Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy, in my opinion, mainstream in the West. It's a mainstream game from Square Enix. It isn't going to have a small fan base on the Xbox platform. A lot of people would play it, but they've been money hatted by PlayStation. And this all calls into question everything that is going on with the Xbox Activision Blizzard acquisition. Should Xbox take that money and then go out and start money hatting other third-party stuff? I mean, I don't really care for it too much. Like, my stance on the whole third-party exclusive stuff is like, I think cutting access off just because they're on a different box is bad as a gamer. It's bad for gamers and bad for the consumers. But from everything that we are seeing right now, from the CMA blocking the deal, it seems like that is right now, if you're Xbox, the only way forward. If that Activision Blizzard deal doesn't go through, a ton of money to spend. Are they going to go out and spend it and make sure that there are certain games that only come over to the Xbox platform, only come over to Xbox Game Pass? I have a feeling that's what they are going to do, which is why when it comes down to the ABK stuff, I think blocking this deal at the end of the day is going to be worse for gamers, as it's going to be reducing access. Whereas if the deal goes through, we already know they made tons of deals with companies, increasing the overall access to the games that they will be getting from Activision Blizzard. But I will leave the video there, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts on all of this type of stuff, from Star Wars Jedi Survivor to with the technical issues, to the Redfall sticker here, which looks completely amateur, to Sunil calling out Xbox on Twitter, making fun of the fact that the CMA blocked the Xbox Activision Blizzard acquisition. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Bye.